You join me in my very, very bright flat. It is quite late, and I've just been outside the last few hours wire brushing, rust killing, painting, and more painting. I lost track of how many things I did. I've always tried to do things off camera to speed things up when the videos are rolling out and everything's going good. But I thought there was a few things that I ought to show you to just give you a taster of what I've been doing. But quite frankly, this was not going to be a very enjoyable video, quite a boring one. But I like to show people my mindset of how I go about making the underbody look as good as on the top. It's quite a common thing. People tend to clean their engine bays but leave everything else dirty underneath. Well, of course it gets dirty, it's a car. But I like to go a little bit further than that. And I like to know that everything is clean, painted, rust protected, and in good working, safe order. And that's what this process is about. And number one, and I've always said this and I keep banging on about it, you never get to know your car until you go about this sort of exercise. Cleaning, painting, wire brushing, etc. Anyway, I'm going to go into this episode. I have no idea how long it's going to be, but I'm now going to currently edit this. And let's see how rubbish it actually is. No, I'm kidding. Let's go to the car 4 hours earlier. All the way down the sill, all the way down on both sides. We'll deal with this in a second. Just put some rust converter, stick it in there. I have investigated and we have no holes on the other side. We got there just in time, I suspect, for that. Bring it all the way up and just a bit there. I don't like surface rust on sills. It can lead to things like that. It looks actually dreadful in this kind of light, but it really isn't, I can tell you. Let's put a bit on here. I like to put rust convert on areas like this where I've gone back to bare metal, just in case there's little bits around the outside that you may have missed. But there you go, that's that section done. I'm just going to stuff a load here for good measure. We're going to need that there. All along here. Yes, stick it right under. That's where the magic happens. It's already starting to look ridiculously good under there. Look how simple a suspension is. That is a classic twist beam axle, and naturally we're going to do a bit on here. I would recommend this stuff, honestly. It does a great job, and compared with Genolite and some of the others like Hammerite, it does a really good job. There's your parts number for your drum. I'll keep that in mind. Just go over the entire drum. I might just give this a bit of a clean up as well. You want to put some rust converter on parts like this. Just got some surface rust coming in behind the strut. We don't want that. We've got a bit of bare metal there. I'll have to go over that with some zinc primer. Some surface rust around here. Anywhere where there's surface rust, you'll start to see it a bit more obviously. The more you do, the cleaner it becomes. The more rust you tend to see, which is quite usual. Lovely. Now, sometimes it does make a difference if you don't paint this, but the truth is I'm not going to paint this. Some of it is just going to be Dynaxed. Some of it is going to be painted. I think this beam is going to be painted, if this is part of an update or not. But the rest of it is not going to be painted, because I think the patina is quite nice, and you can, well, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be spending a fortune on paint. That is not my intention with this car. But still, looking rather good. Go all the way to the top, and oh, there's a bit here. There we go, just deal with that. Lovely. Bit of white spirit, or thinners, or whatever you can to clean this up. I have obviously wire brushed these down in a previous episode, but I'm going to use a special paint to get these looking a lot nicer than what they've previously looked. There we go. Right, for a job. Now, can we make this look better? Cardboard on the floor. Now, we've got bare metal here. You need to use either an etch primer or a zinc primer. I'm going to use zinc primer because there's still patches of rust here and there. You can use the rust converter, but with this, not as necessary as the Bodywork. And I don't care about the tyres. If you do care about the tyres, lots of playing cards or cardboard stacked in there, but I don't care a damn. Just spray it on. Just a light coating of primer. Done. Right, wait for that to go off, and then we can get the good stuff out. It's good stuff, this. About £5 a can, and it is a glossy finish. Just start off in the middle. When I go out, I'll use this cardboard to deflect everything. I'll cut back when I've done. Naturally, we do the back side as well. That's looking 10 times better. I'm just going to wipe off the overspray. I think just a decent single coat on the spare will be fine, because it is the spare. I hope never to use it. Oh, I need to go over that bit. Right. zinc primer. Put my mask on. I'm only putting zinc primer where there is bare metal. Okay, so I've sprayed a bit on the top half of the tank. The bottom half has cleaned up really well. That's how it would have been presented from the factory. So I may leave it, I may not. It depends how things develop, how much paint I've got, how much money I've got. But it's quite nice actually, just to see it all coming together. I'll decide what I want to do with this section down here. But overall, I'm not too bothered at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. Now, yeah, I haven't been spraying this under the underside, I can assure you. I just had it there. Now, we can go in and spray this up. Now I've taken my mask off. Very, very light coat. Turn it over for the back side. Just lean it against the wall because I don't mind too much. You can start to see the numbers a bit more properly. That's the beauty of painting, you start revealing a few things. Well, while the paint is drying, I've put some zinc primer along the back axle in certain areas. This is a very bloggy episode. I've put some over here as well. And what I'm doing is I haven't really gone through any of this. Truth is, yeah, it's just a little bit funny there. We'll have a look at that. It's just flaking paint. There's actually nothing behind that. So I am going to go over this. But I'm just cleaning all this up and it's looking absolutely amazing. As usual. But I think some new diamond white on this part of the sill wouldn't go amiss. Yeah, well, we're tickling it, but we're establishing that we've got good metal, and it's good to keep on top of this rust that's just starting to creep in along the edge. So we're going to deal with all that. We started from there, and we've dealt with that. That's nothing. It was starting to be something. Now it's metal. Got to keep on top of that. All of this has been ground back really nicely. We've got a couple of areas. None of these are pinholes. None of these. They're just areas that needed looking at before they become holes. Yeah, this is going to be resprayed in diamond white. I'm probably going to put some tape probably around here where they kind of faded it in the factory, and then go from there. That will look utterly astonishing, and I want to retain that. I could put stone chip here, but that's not how it should be originally, and I want it to keep it that way. Just repeat on the other side, but this is the worst side of this car. Zinc primer. Okay, I'll clear the spray in a second. This is somewhat amateurish but effective treatment, minor surface rust. Well, I like to report on this side, same results really. You just got the few odd scabs there that I've dealt with. That is it. Bit there, might have to go back a bit further on that bit. It's just ridiculous. Is this a 34-year-old Fiesta that I'm looking at? It's all going off really nicely. Just this. Just got to look after this area, and that's that. Well, the wheel is dried. We've got one more wheel to attend to on that side. We are zinced under in the appropriate places. I've just got to take that wheel off and do the same on that side. Just got to zinc the face of the drum as appropriate. You don't want it too thick, you don't want to do it too much, because this is where your wheel sits. I've got to think about putting paint on in those areas. I actually may have to just take some of this paint off. It was over a bit of overspray. But I'm going to leave this little update here. It's not a very entertaining video, but I thought I'd show you some of the best bits and clips of what I've been doing. It's very tedious wire brushing all this stuff down, but yeah, I'm racing ahead because I'm trying to beat the weather. At the moment it's a relatively dry day today, so I think you can understand. But anyway, from me and Project Ruby, onwards and upwards, and looking a lot more better, and will look just as good as hopefully as she runs. Take care.